just for fun, I thought I would do another Q&A video. I really enjoy doing these, and I gotta say, I can't get enough of all of the questions you folks send in. So I'm gonna try and do more of those throughout the year. Um, I don't know what kind of a schedule I'll have for them, but I'll try to do my very best. Um, for some reason, YouTube wasn't letting me copy and paste the questions onto something that I could print out. So I just got out my Hello Kitty notebook and I just started writing all the questions down. And I got quite a few of them, and I'm really happy about that. And if while you're watching the video live, if you think of other questions, bring those for me in the comments. I'll read them live. If the video's not live, I'll collect them for the next Q&A video. Sound good? Of course. Before we get into the questions, and again, lots of great ones, I do have a bit of a site update. I forgot to put this in the comments section, so I'm going to have to find it again, copy and paste the link and such. Yesterday I released a new trailer for my latest art book. It is called Y2K Girl. I'm currently waiting on when I can order some copies for myself so I can do a proper video with it. Just diapers really went up in price this month, and wowzers. But anywho, Y2K Girl is a project I've been working on since the pandemic. It's got a lot of fun art. The girls themselves I hand draw in marker, and then I just upload it to the computer and color it later. The backgrounds are graphic design, so it's just me with Photoshop. There's no AI in this. It's just me tooling around with Photoshop-like software. Actually, it's Clip Studio Paint. It's an old copy of Clip Studio Paint before they decided to start charging people monthly. I still use my old grandfather edition. But I made all the graphics using Clip Studio Paint, and I colored the girls in marker and then recolored them on the computer with Clip Studio Paint. And this was a lot of fun. I usually put them on t-shirts. I'm expanding that to jewelry and now an art book. And I hope everybody will give this book a chance, and I want to know how you'll feel about it, like what sort of stories you might think up for some of the girls that I draw. I was really inspired by looking back at some of the artwork that were in advertisements when I was a tween. So that's where the idea came from. I also have a Keychon Demon Hunter art book on my Printify now, and I need to make a trailer for that. I lost some of the assets when I was moving files between my phone and the computer, so I need to remake the trailer for it. But it's mostly stuff from when I was about to release my first book. So I'm really happy about that. I've been writing that book series for 10 years. I've been publishing books for 10 years for Keychon Demon Hunter. Been a published author for 11 years, so lots of stuff this year. So that's all pretty fun. My Printify store, though, is looking really good, so I need to make a new video because I redesigned it last night in lavender, and it looks way better than it did when I first launched it. And I put up some new graphics, so I need to make a new video of this. So that's on my to-do list. And some of the questions that we'll be covering cover other things on my to-do list too, so we'll circle back to that somewhere. Let me see, is there a spot where I can leave comments? And nope, that button does not. I'll close that. I don't even know. Oh, I accidentally unconnected myself. That was dumb. Live chat. There we go. Turn on the live chat. All messages are visible. Good, good. Okay, so it looks like it's not going to let me put anything in the comments section. So I'll post links when this is no longer live. So we'll just do it then. So anywho, I think you guys have waited enough, right? It's almost been 5 minutes. So let's get on to the questions already. So first question up is, and I'm just going to mark off which ones I've done so far. I'm on new medication that gives me some brain fog, so I got to do this with a pen. Anywho, from Facebook, I've got a question from Ninten Earthbound, and they asked, what is Codename Sailor Earth's backstory? Are you ever going to do a video about your version of Sailor Earth? I actually did one several years ago, and it's on a playlist on this YouTube channel. Um, excuse my ego for a minute. It's called The Legend of Codename Sailor Earth. I know, real inventive title, right? Well, if you click on that playlist and you scroll down a few videos, there's one that's about 5 minutes long. It's like a long music video, and it's mostly complete. It goes through my character's backstory. If you don't want to go looking for it, I'll run through it for you. So, a lot of people ask, because my version of Sailor Earth is not Naru or Molly, if you remember the Deke dub. A lot of people ask, are you related to Tuxedo Mask? No. My character's story is that back when the Earth and the Moon were conjoined, because scientifically we actually did have this happen, there was a strip of land that conjoined the Earth and the Moon. That's where my kingdom would have been. And as things happened, that strip of land got destroyed. And half the people went to the moon, half the people went to Earth, and I was kind of screwed in the middle. So I kind of went back and forth between the Earth and the moon. Queen Serenity took pity on my character, let me stay at the palace as long as I watched over her newborn baby, Princess Serenity. And I would travel between the Earth and the moon, helping to keep the peace. My character is a little younger than Jupiter at this point in time during the days of the Silver Millennium. I am to Mamoru, or rather in this case, Prince Endymion, what Taiki is to Princess Kaku. We share a planet and nothing else. We're not related. I've got my own star seed, my own Sailor Crystal, my own dream mirror. I got nothing from him. I'm not part of the family. So, just like the other Inner Guardians, I'm just a soldier. That's that. When we got to be of age, and you'll see it in the video if you can find it, I kind of sort of facilitated Princess Serenity's trips to Earth. I wasn't supposed to, but I knew she was meant to be with Prince Endymion, and I was totally shipping them, so I sent them off to Earth, much to Mars's chagrin. And then when all the things happened with Queen Beryl, I was one of the last Guardians to die, and my power activated upon death. My power is that I can go between planets with ease. It's a lot easier for me to sailor teleport by myself, whereas the other girls always have to do it in a chain of 5, right? Well, my power manifested wrong, and I ended up, if you remember X-Men and you remember Nightcrawler, I'm going to use his phrase, bamf. I sort of bamfed into the wrong universe at the wrong time period. So instead of being reborn with Usagi and Makoto and Ami and all them, I ended up on planet Mnemosyne. And I was taken in by Sailor Mnemosyne, and my character was raised by Leth and Mnemosyne, and then Galaxia happened. And Leth took advantage of my budding power and put me through a portal so that I wouldn't have to deal with Galaxia. When I finally landed on Earth, to me it's been about 2 minutes. To them, many decades went by. So by the time I land on Earth, everything's fine now, and Isagi's already had Chibiusa, and here's baby Kousagi. So my character grows up with Chibiusa and Hotaru. We need more Collection Earth videos. I will work on that, Leon. Thank you. I appreciate that. So my character grows up with Chibiusa and Hotaru, and then my full powers remanifest when Luna figures out who I am, and then I grow up with them to a point. Oh, hey, Sailor Anime. I'm doing all right. What's up with you? So my character grows up to a point, but then things kind of get wonky with my powers, so I end up spending some time in Elysian, and then I come back as a teenager, continue growing up, and then in all the role plays that I used to do on Gaia Online, my story would pick up again where I was much older, and I would go with Sailor Moon to the end of the universe to find where Leth and Mnemosyne are, because they should have been reborn by now, because we're all done with Galaxia. So a lot of times my character... Your son is so adorable. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Amir. Are you discussing fanfic? Yes, I am. You came in just in time. Usually, and my video cuts off before I took the time to animate this, but usually in all the role plays I used to do, my character would find Leth and Mnemosyne again, and then Usagi would pretty much let them come to Earth, because if you saw Sailor Moon Cosmos Part 2, then you know Leth and Mnemosyne's planets are trash, just straight trash. So, because Mnemosyne is such a good person, hey Holden, I got all your questions written down. Because, you know, Mnemosyne's a good person and Leth is here, she just kind of like lets them go onto Earth. And then that's pretty much where my story sort of stops there. Where like, in the far distant future, there's a point where Neo Queen Serenity and Keen and Endymion abdicate the throne, Chibiusa takes over, and my job at that point is just to help continue the training of Kousagi's team, along with the Inner Guardians and the Outer Guardians. So that's pretty much my character's backstory. Whenever I used to role play on Gaia Online, or on any other forum for that matter, I never wanted my character to be anywhere near as strong as Sailor Moon, because there's a reason why her name is in the title of the show. I really didn't like when other people would get egotistical and suddenly like they've got more power than Sailor Moon, or they've killed more baddies than Sailor Moon. I never liked that. I don't want the ego. Just put me in the same category with Mercury and Jupiter and we're all good. So that's pretty much my backstory. The story about Sailor Earth is blowing my teenage mind. Oh, thank you. I occasionally throw some videos onto this Legend of Codename Sailor Earth playlist on YouTube just for fun. I think I do it a couple times a year now. So there's a few more videos where you see like, I like your hair. Oh, thank you. All natural. There's a few more videos where I kind of explore the character a little bit more. I just released one for Earth Day where I'm reading the Codename Sailor V manga next to Luna while Usagi and Rei are being Usagi and Rei and fighting in the back. I just did that to be funny. But yeah, I've got a couple of videos that expand upon this lore if you're interested in it. I tried really hard to get into fanfic writing when I was younger, and while I publish a lot of books, for some reason I just didn't have the same attention span for fanfic writing, so I just do videos instead, because it helps me get all of my ideas out at once, and they're shorter, so that works too. But yeah, I did my story the way I did because when I started getting into the manga, I really loved Mnemosyne so much, and Sailor Moon Cosmos Part 2 made me just love this character all over again. Because, like, even though she could, you know, do bad stuff because she's got Galaxia's bracelets on there, she chooses not to. Love your retro shirt. The font is a mix of 70s and Candy Crush. Thank you. It's a G1 My Little Pony shirt that I got from Five Below, with all the G1 characters. I used to make a lot of fan comics, Sailor Anime says. Things I love, but the sad thing is I never completed any of them. See, that's where I'm at with my story. Like, I just kind of stopped where she's in the future. Hey, be nice there. Kindly pass the burgery. Be nice. Anywho, I kind of just like got lost. And I stopped, you know, creating more stories after that. But now that I'm doing videos, I can pop back in and flesh that story out some more. If you like it, then I feel like I've done something good, because I like entertaining people and I like making people laugh. Oh yeah, this shirt, by the way, I'm still learning a lot of My Little Pony character names. I was kind of too little when this was on, but I used to have a folder set that kind of matched this. So when I saw the pink and rainbows, I just had to get it at Five Below. I guess you could say I'm like a casual My Little Pony fan. Your animations are amazing. I struggle with the technology, but I'm learning. Keep working at it, because my first animation sucked, and I eventually got a little bit better with it. If you keep practicing, you get better over time. Animation isn't something you learn overnight. I don't know why a lot of people think it is. It's something that takes you years to get comfortable with. And once you're comfortable with it, you'll be creating stuff that's amazing. So keep at it. Don't give up yet. You're right at the start. I am Leon says, y'all, I just got Sailor Chibi Moon's Irwin wand. Oh, lucky! For 140. Yeah, that's a pretty good price. That is a pretty good price. I would love to get Chibi Moon's wand. The Bandai version and the Irwin edition. I would love that. I love how the dark blue box, when it came out too, it's kind of like we saw this before we were supposed to see it, because like it came out in North America in 97 along with the Moon Scepter rod, which is actually the Kaleido scope that Usagi has in Sailor Moon Supers. At the time that it came out, we were still working on Sailor Moon R on Cartoon Network, so we got a lot of stuff from Irwin before we should have seen it. And I just love that part. You know, it's a big reason why the dark blue is easier one to find. Yeah, the light blue one was not in production very long. It was less than a year. That's why there's less of the light blue version. They were supposed to do a yellow box, but I've never actually seen it. Wish I could own the 90s ones and brooches. I'm collecting the bootleg versions as well. I have a couple of the ones from the 90s. I should do a new video of them. The problem is, I need to do some repair work. I saw a video on how to fix toys after a battery has exploded. So I want to rewatch that video and fix them up, because I did have some where the batteries exploded inside, but if there's a way I can fix that, then I'm going to learn how to do it. And if I can succeed at it, then I'll make a video where I show you guys how to do it, because this is something brand new that I'm teaching myself. The Wicked Lady Mini Moon Irwin 2-pack is insanely rare nowadays. I got that one. They're over there. And when I got them in 2001, it was at an Amazing Fantasy comic book store in Tinley Park, Illinois. It was $40 in 2001. I don't want to know what that looks like in 2026. It was a specialty. It was the only time I ever saw it in person. I never saw another one. You should make a toy video. I was making one about all the wands I collected. Years ago, I did one involving some of my little gashapon brooches and lockets. I need to redo that one because that was on a crappier phone, and this phone rocks. I need to do a new version. They're also over there. I've got off camera, you can't see this, but I have 4 bins. Do you have any of the Sailor Moon plushies? Oh my goodness, yes. They're behind the camera. I need to do a new video. I did a video years ago with them. I've doubled that collection, so I need to do a new video. Over here, I've got 4 bins that have some Sailor Moon stuff in them, including dolls and lockets. I need to do just new videos across the board. I need to just schedule, like, once a week, do some videos. That's going to be on my to-do list. Let's see. So I got a bunch of questions. And again, keep them coming. Keep them coming in the comments. This is fun. Let's see. So Amir asked, does your son like the toys that you give in your videos? Yes, he does. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that one. That's a good question. I'll hold on to that one. I'll come back to that. My son does like a lot of the toys in my videos. I need to make an update video soon, though. The coffee cup toy, I had to take away. We've cycled through 2 of these. And there's a problem where the green rubber part of the lid keeps disintegrating and coming up. And I've called Mattel about this, and they're aware of it. If you see a recall story later this year about the coffee cup toy, I'm part of it. Because I get to be a Mattel tester, and I love that. And this is one of those rare times where I've had to address a pre-recall. Usually, I'm all about Mattel, as you can tell. Usually I have some good stuff with them. This was sort of an anomaly. Now let's get back to the comment questions. So Sailor Anime 289 asks 3 questions. Favorite season, favorite episode, favorite movie. Ooh, those are good. So I think right now, and you can probably tell by what's on my channel, favorite season would have to be Supers. And it's funny because I remember when I was a tween, um, a lot of people hated Supers because of the focus on Chibiusa. That was actually the main reason why I loved it. Because when Supers hit the United States, we got the Cloverway version of Supers. By that point, I was already ensconced in the manga, and I realized that Chibiusa was actually a lot cooler than what I was seeing in those first Deke episodes of Sailor Moon R. And Supers, there's a lot of character growth. They use a lot of colors that I love, and there's a lot of great humor that just ties in with the first season. So there's a lot of stuff that I love about Supers. I love the Dream arc overall. So of course I also love Sailor Moon Eternal, but I like that Sailor Moon Supers gives us a little extra time. The Dream arc goes kind of fast. You noticed that with the Eternal movies, I bet. The Supers kind of like stretches that out. I just wish they didn't kneecap the Amazonas Quartet. I wish they gave everybody their full power at the end of the season. We kind of got a cop out ending, but the rest of Supers, like everything up through episode 161, I really loved. Let's go back to that question though. Favorite episode? Hard to say. There's several episodes that I really, really love. I need to make a list of those. That'll be a future video. Favorite movie? I watched the Sailor Moon R movie a whole lot. I wonder if that might be my favorite. I also really love Eternal. I could just live in Eternal. So I don't know, it's kind of a balancing act right now between the two. I like all of them. Cosmos actually made me cry in the ways it should. That was just very close to the manga. Also, it's very death heavy, so it's not the first thing I introduce new fans to, obviously. So I think it's probably a cross between R and Eternal as of right now. A few years ago, I would have said the Supers movie, but I really like how the R movie is structured too. So I don't know, I'd have to think about that one. They're all good. They're all good. I am Leon94 asks, if you show your son Sailor Moon, already did, will you start with the Deke dub or the uncut? When I had him, Sailor Moon was still on Toonami on Fridays at 4 o'clock before they moved it to 5 in the morning, my time. So when he was 2 days old, we were already watching Sailor Moon because they played it at the hospital for me. There was like limited TV channels and a handful of movies I could choose from. And when I saw that they had Cartoon Network on, I was like, "Hey, can you put that on for me, please?" And one of the nurses knows I'm a Sailor Moon fan because one of my main maternity shirts is my pink Sailor Moon shirt. So she put Sailor Moon on, and it was the episode with Tuxedo Umino, or Tuxedo Melvin, if you remember Deke. So his first access to Sailor Moon was the Viz dub. So I've already introduced him. At home, we kind of watch a mix between the Viz dub and the Viz uncensored. And so far, he seems okay with it. Tuxedo Mask, he kind of likes, unless it's an episode in the first season where he was bullying Usagi, then he can just take a hike. Queen Beryl, he goes, ooh, at, which is his way of saying, you know, oh, that's a bad person, that's a naughty. Seiya can take the biggest leap off a cliff. I did a short video where he was just like me. Like, I didn't think he was paying attention. I thought he was playing with his toys. He saw Seiya get too close to Usagi, and he realizes Usagi's like pulling back. She's uncomfortable. She doesn't like this. And he grabbed a pillow and he screams in the short video. And when I had the camera off, he was just like, no, 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 no. And it's because at 18 months, he already realizes consent is a huge thing. And all the times Usagi is like, hey, no, I have a boyfriend. He understands that. He understands no means no at 18 months. That is crazy because there are so many adults who don't get that. So Seiya is his least favorite character, and then Queen Beryl is like just slightly above Seiya. But he likes when Tuxedo Mask is being nice to Sailor Moon. He likes those scenes. So I am watching him. I don't let him watch like the really violent episodes, the scary episodes. I'm definitely not letting him watch anything with dolls because that's a bit scary. I mean, I don't even watch those episodes at night. Um, but he has seen Sailor Moon, and right now this is very much a Viz thing. I've not tried anything with the Deke except for the song "She's Got the Power" because Stan Bush did that song, and he's awesome. And also a friend of mine. So that was totally wild, but that's a story for another day. I need to ask if he'll tell me about how he got on with that. Let me scroll back up. I'm loving the connection here. Let's see. Sailor Anime 289. My favorite season is between R and S. Favorite episode is 166 from Supers. That's a good one. And my favorite movie is the Sailor Moon S movie. Make a top 10. You should make a top 10 Sailor Moon episode video. I should. I should. And don't worry about autocorrect. I've had the worst time with that on every social media platform this week. Thoughts on Sailor Moon Crystal 1 and 2 from I Am Leon. Were you disappointed at all with it? No. I actually love Crystal. I know some people complained about the animation, and I know a lot of people complained because it is closer to the manga, especially starting with season 2. And some people who were just anime only and didn't read the manga, they don't know how to feel about that. I freaking loved Crystal. I would actually get up at 4 in the morning just for it to hit either Nico Nico Doga or Hulu as the series went on. That's I felt like I was a kid all over again, getting up at 6:30, haha, to watch Sailor Moon. I freaking loved it. And it was like the longer Crystal went on, the more I found to love about it. I've got the DVDs for the first 3 seasons. I'm hoping to get some physical media for the movies. I really love Sailor Moon Crystal, and I'm collecting Crystal stuff about as much as I am the original stuff, so I really enjoy Crystal. And even the wonky episodes, I actually downloaded those somewhere because I knew they were going to retouch the animation. I kind of like those wonky episodes. I like the wonky animation. I love how they look on DVD though. When they said they were going to redraw it, they meant it and they did a really good job. They beautified a lot of the characters. So if you want to see a better version of Crystal, you got to buy the Blu-rays or the DVDs. But I actually did like the original version too. There's one that I made a GIF of for my Tenor account and for Moon Sisters that is still up where I don't know why they did this, but for a split second you see Sailor Venus, but she has a red bow. And I kind of liked that because it looks like she's going from Codename Sailor V into Venus. So I liked that scene. The other one I liked, and they correct this on the DVD too. There's a flashback scene where Luna remembers being petted by Queen Serenity, but she's wearing Princess Serenity's gown. And I was like, oh, this dress really is a hand-me-down. I'm so used to seeing it on Usagi and Chibiusa and eventually Chibi Chibi, but I'd never seen it on Queen Serenity. And even though they take it away on the DVD, I still loved that scene. I made a GIF out of that. Um, I just really love Crystal. Let's see. Okay. Amir says, "Have you seen the Sailor Moon Cosmos movie?" I have, and I even stuck around for part 2. I stayed all through the credits for the bedroom and then the wedding scene. Oh my god. Oh, it's close to the manga. Super beat for beat close to the manga. Um it's also death heavy, so if you're in a bad mental state, probably not your favorite movie, but they got so much right that I do love this one, and I loved being able to see the other Animamates finally animated. I loved that so much, and I loved seeing the Amazonas Quartet do something not evil because I love those girls. Um, at, I also liked how they placed Sailor Cosmos's timeline because in the manga, her timeline's a bit vague. We know she's probably an adult when Sailor Chaos happens and everything goes to hell in a handbasket, but we don't get a clear picture of what happens. It's all really hazy. But in Cosmos, they put her timeline to where she's freshly Neo Queen Serenity. Keenan Demian is still fresh at this because he doesn't have the lavender hair yet or the goggles. He's very much still Mamoru. He's still Tuxedo Mask in a way, but the Keenan Demian outfit is here. So we know this is shortly after her timelines Chibiusa would have been born, which makes everything that happens so much more tragic, and the weight gets so heavy with that. I think that's also why they allowed Kotono Mitsuyoshi's understudy, who was also the live action version's TV shows Sailor Mars, do the role of Cosmos, because Mitsuyoshi-san's voice was cracking. You can hear it in Chibi Chibi and Neo Queen Serenity and in Usagi. She can't keep up that role anymore. So her understudy kind of steps in for Cosmos, but she doesn't sound like the same bubbly Sailor Moon that we've always known. She's exhausted mentally, physically, every which way you can imagine. And she does such a good job of emoting that mental exhaustion in being Cosmos. There's just so much I really like where they knew how to just drag those emotions out as you're watching it. So I really do like that movie too. Let's see. Do you like other magical girl shows? I love Cardcaptor Sakura, but I love Clear Card twice as much. I got obsessed with the Clear Card manga pretty heavily. I really liked the storytelling and the evolution of Sakura and Shioran's relationship. I also love Magical Girl Ore. There's one that just hit Tubi that I love. I've mentioned this once in another video, and I'm so happy Tubi picked it up. Punee-chan. It's brand new. It is extremely violent. If you like Magical Girl Ore, you'll love this one. It's got a lot of slapstick to it. She's like what you would expect out of a magical girl in real life. I feel like this is one of those characters that would actually fit in with Sailor Moon. I really love this show. It's only 8 episodes long, which is a huge tragedy, but I love it. Let's see other magical girl shows. I liked Magic Knight Rayearth. I am curious about the new version, because the new version looks like they're doing a Sailor Moon Crystal thing. I noticed that Magic Knight Rayearth and Tokyo Mew Mew, when they do their redos, they steal a lot of the color palette from Crystal. But I am curious about this one. It's supposed to be closer to the manga. I never finished the manga, so I'm curious about that. I did kind of like the original. The first 7 episodes were a little weird. Episode 8 onward, though, the storytelling really picks up. And so does the action. I did like that one eventually. What's another one? Akazuka Cha-Cha is on YouTube right now. Slapstick hilarity, really good animation. If you liked the first season of Pokemon, you'll like this one because it's got the same humor. That one, I'm surprised we never got in America, because that would be perfect for Saturday morning viewing. What's another one that I like? There's a few that I like. I know people know that I'm a bit harsher on shows where I can see what you stole from Sailor Moon, but there are actual magical girl shows that I do really enjoy. Hey, Wolfwood. Let's see. Sailor Anime 289. I love the original Tokyo Mew Mew. Never got a chance to watch the reboot. The reboot, I think, is still on High Dive. They do change some things. I didn't finish either of them. The new version ages up the characters a little bit, which makes it a little less creepy, but not by much. And because climate change has happened, some of the storytelling has changed, especially in that first episode. Like, if you watch the first episode of the old Tokyo Mew Mew, there's a scene where she talks about things that could happen. Whereas in the reboot, these things have already happened. And if you like the environment, if you like planet Earth, if you like animals, that's a bit tragic. But they do their best with the science, but that's as much as I've seen so far. Holden, my first vague memories of first watching Sailor Moon was from the S season, where Sailor Moon steps on on all of their heads. I just saw that on Pluto the other day. I first watched it back in 2000 when I was around 5 or 6 during a family vacation in El Salvador. My first ever Sailor Moon episode was And in my area, so this is different. Um, while everybody else started watching Sailor Moon in the fall of 1995 in America, I was actually watching in April. We had a channel when I lived in New Jersey. There was a channel, it's gone now. There was a channel that was sort of public access. I don't know who ran it, but overnight, this person was definitely an otaku. They would run fan subs and fan dubs of anime they had no legal right to air. So, my first interaction with Dragon Ball Z was the BoJack Unbound movie. They aired an illegal fan sub of this film, and that would be my introduction to the series and Gohan and Trunks. And then they also played fan dubbed and fan subbed episodes of Sailor Moon out of order. And then my local TV station, my local WB station later that year picked up the episodes and played them out of order. My first episode that I remember is where Usagi's teacher was going to get married. And then the next episode I remembered watching was the one where she and Tuxedo Mask get trapped in an elevator and Nephrite poses as Tuxedo Mask. So those were my first two ever episodes, and I got hooked right away. I know some things in Tokyo Mew Mew are kind of dated. It's still an enjoyable watch. I might give it a second chance. I have a good friend who's a huge Tokyo Mew Mew fan, and she told me that I probably have a hard time with it because Ichigo's weapons are pretty much traced over Chibiusa's. And also because my introduction was the 4Kids version. And if you've not seen the 4Kids version, it is censored to death. They leave some stuff in that was inappropriate, but then they censor out stuff that didn't need to be censored out because it wasn't bad. It was TVY. So, I need to just rewatch it, the original version, and maybe I'll have a different opinion afterwards. I also saw some of the Tokyo Pop version of the manga, and I don't know if this is true or not. That too may have been altered, so I need to just start over on Tokyo Mew Mew, and I understand that. I know the channel you're talking about, the Forbidden Ones. Yes! Someone remembers! I have just a niche pocket of friends that remembers these channels, and that they're long gone, and I have no idea what their names were, so don't bother Googling it. You'll hurt your brain. But yeah, that's how I got into Sailor Moon. It's not how I got into anime. I grew up in the Chicagoland area. So before I moved around a lot as a kid, we had Channel 50, Channel 60, and a couple of other bunny ear stations. They would play Speed Racer, Astro Boy, Voltron, and Robotech early in the morning, and sometimes Mazinger Z. Or Shogun Warriors, because this was yet another thing that got smooshed with other unrelated anime titles. Wow, Mattel. So that was how I got into anime. So I had the 80s boom. I got into more anime through renting stuff at the VHS at the video stores that I realize now I should not have been watching because I was a child. Uncensored Tenchi Muyo I had no business renting. And then Sailor Moon happened, and then Pokemon and all that. So I've just always been into anime since I was in diapers. Holden says, I forgot about Tokyo Mew Mew. When I first watched it, I was like, thank you! Yes, her weapons are Chibiusa's weapons. Thank you. Sailor Anime, I grew up in New York. It's those kind of channels. Yes! I was in Wharton, New Jersey. So I was like not far away from the border to New York. I was a short drive to New York because I got lost in New York several times. Oh my god, yes. You should introduce your son to Magical Doremi. I actually have a Doremi doll. She needs to be repaired. Where is she? I just had her out. 1 second. Shoot. Okay, so I have to find the bin that she's in. She's in one of my micro bins. But I actually have a talking Doremi doll. English version, so of course, 4Kids dubbing. I gotta fix her. She had a battery explode a couple weeks ago, and I gotta figure out how to fix her. Again, watching that video. Once I learn how, though, and I get some fresh batteries in her, I am planning on doing a video. I initially bought her because the seller on eBay had her completely undressed, had her clothes and her shoes in a little baggie behind her. I didn't see them. All I saw was the doll itself. I was like, huh, this looks a little familiar, but I can't really remember it. And the seller was like, oh, I think it's a bootleg Chibi Chibi. You want it for $1? And I was like, sure, I'll buy her for $1. So I spent $1 and they sent the original clothes, and I opened the baggie with the clothes, and I'm like, this is Magica Doremi. Oh my God. And I pressed her button and she actually spoke. She did like her little transformation phrase, and I was like, oh my God. But then I moved. And a couple weeks ago, we had a battery leakage because we've had some crazy weather here. So she's on a list of dolls I have to repair. Once I repair her and I get her hair fixed up, I will do a video with her, I promise. Let's see. Doremi is also one I saw sporadically on Foxbox, but the episodes were edited out of order. I think I saw one where one of the 9-year-olds was raising a child. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, educate me. But yeah, that's another one where I saw just bits and pieces, so I need to just redo that. Hey, no bullying. You know, I'm going to remove that comment. There we go. And okay. Have you ever... Wolfwood asks, have you seen the Sailor Moon Says segments? Everybody who grew up on the Deke dub did. I saw all of them, including the ones they repeated when they started running out of nice things to say for like the Sailor Moon R episodes. Those are a trip because some of the stuff that Deke would cut out, they put back in the Sailor Says segments. I'm like, the one especially comes with the Day of Destiny episode where they smooshed episodes 45 and 46 into one. And there's the Sailor Says for that one is all about, helping the environment and shit. But it's got like the cutout scenes where they confirm the scouts were really dead during that whole episode. And I'm like, wow, I know a spirit when I see one, and you guys are really screwing yourselves on this. So yeah, they are kind of a trip. They even had trading cards of some of those cutout scenes. I've got a binder of them downstairs. I had an old video, shittier camera. I need to redo it because I do have some newer trading cards that my friend Tunji sent me that go along with this. Holden says, I forgot Doremi. So did everybody else, but they've got like a bunch of new movies now. Saw the 4Kids dub version along with Mimi Power. This was before I watched the original Japanese versions later on. If you go to the official Toei Animation YouTube channels, you'll see the trailers for the newer movies. There's one where they help out real world adults, I don't know, adult better. And then there's another one where they just flat out grow up in a music video, but they have the same mentality as when they were kids. It's kind of cute. I need some water. Let me grab a water bottle. Okay, I see a bully in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and do something about this. Hold on. Let's see. Hide user on this channel. There we go. Glad that they gave me some moderation tools. If you see any bullying comments, don't worry, I'm already on it. So with that said, I guess we'll go back to some questions. Let's see. Holden, you actually sent quite a few questions, and I wrote down all of them so I wouldn't miss them. So let's go through these. Will you be getting Melody and the American Girl dolls, Melody and Courtney? They are still number 1 and number 2 on my wish list. I should share a link to my wish list again. It's on all of my websites. If you scroll all the way down to the purple box, I have a picture of my one doll there, Azalea. And if you click on her, it takes you straight to my wish list. Hi, Tegan. I got your questions written down too, so we'll get to those soon. But yeah, Melody and Courtney are still number 1 and number 2 on my list. Let's see. Next one you asked was, will you be getting Willie Wisher's Bryant? Wolfwood said, yeah, those clips were wild. Oh yeah, the Sailor Says was so wild. My husband asked me not to bring home any more Willie Wishers. I have 2 Ashland dolls, and that's about where my collection ends. When we went to the American Girl store when I was pregnant, he saw all the Welly Wishers, and they have a lot of fun at the American Girl store. They put the girls, all of the dolls, into different play areas, and they like do little diagrams of them, right? Well, they had a sleepover set with American Girl and one with Welly Wishers. American Girl dolls, when you lay them flat, they close their eyes and they take a nappy boo. Welly Wishers don't close their eyes. They just stare at the ceiling like this. Dead. And that creeped him out. Yeah, pollen. I think my neighbor's home because I can smell his flowers. But anywho, Willa was the one that was dead in her bed, and that creeped him out. So yeah, we're not getting any more. Excuse me. One second. Sorry about that. I just had to take my Flonase. My neighbor next door, he grows flowers, and he's got some that I think are tulip, but they're like tulip hybrids. And I didn't think I was allergic until just now, but I'm allergic. But it's okay. I just took my Flonase, so I'll be all right. Whew. But anywho, seeing Willa dead in her bed kind of freaked him out. So not only are we not getting any more Willie Wishers in the house, the 2 Ashlands that I have, they're in a bin over there. Because they really creep him out. The whole glass eyes, because they look so realistic, that just way creeps him out. And he prefers it when like the dolls don't look like that when they go to sleep. So we're also not getting any more sleepover sets. Let's see, going back through the comments. Classic Dreamer, have you played Puyo Puyo? I really like that game. I've played a few different varieties of Puyo Puyo. My first introduction was actually Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And that's actually an older Puyo Puyo game that was reskinned. I don't remember the code, but on Genesis, there's a code where if you put it in, you can actually delete for one playthrough all the Dr. Robotnik stuff, and you get the original Puyo Puyo game underneath. Really fascinating. Sailor Anime, fun fact, in the 90s anime, Rini's age is 5 and R. No. They never actually give her age in the original anime, although in the 3D Adventures of Sailor Moon game, they do erroneously list her age as 6. She stops aging at 6 years old. She's actually over 900 years old. The manga and Sailor Moon Crystal both made that abundantly clear, that she quit aging at around 6 years old. They know it's tied in with her stunted power because she starts aging again as she becomes, Black Lady and then Sailor Chibi Moon. And they know it's tied up with the crystal because anybody who gains Any form of access to the crystal, even for a second, automatically gains a lifespan of 1,000 years or more. But for some reason, I think because her dad's stunted powers kicked in, her age got stunted. So that's why she looks like a little kid, but she's legally an adult. Kind of weird. Helios has the same thing happen to him. He gets kidnapped during the days of the Silver Millennium and kind of sort of by accident kept in magical stasis, so he looks like a 13-year-old. He's an adult too. The Amazonas Quartet copy and paste what I just said. So it's kind of interesting how we have these eternal children in the series. For some reason, the old anime never really addresses her age. So it's only select media where they give her a younger age, but nah, she's not a kid. Let's see. One of the directors revealed that. Yeah, I think that's because that some of the staff for Toei at the time didn't actually read the manga all the way through. So, and they didn't communicate a lot to their staff. So back then, they would have thought this is a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old child. They would not have known. Things are really messed up. They fixed this in Crystal, though. They fix it. Let's see. Anywho. So going back to the questions, assuming I'm not going to choke on any more of my neighbor's flowers. Flonase, by the way, is not my favorite antihistamine, but it works, so I deal with it. Will you be getting? Holden asked, "Will you be getting Keisha from Magic Attic Club? Her birthday is on May 20th." Depends. I've noticed lately that some of the Magic Attic dolls have fallen in price, so I'm kind of toying with eventually getting Keisha. I hope in her purple jumper because that one was really cute. After I redid my article on Magic Attic Club, which I shared the link to on YouTube a couple days ago, my heart really softened towards Chloe. I kind of feel sorry for Chloe. I feel like her fashion matches what I'm into, and I feel like people were too harsh on her. So I'm actually thinking about Chloe. And speaking of birthdays, by the way, I was just on the American Girl Facebook page. I can't wait for them to send me a catalog because they're putting up a bunch of new stuff for the 40th anniversary. But another thing that they mentioned was today is Claudie's birthday. Happy birthday, Claudie. Mwah. I love her curls. I'm so obsessed. I hope this means they will consider doing more stuff with Claudie. I noticed that Courtney has 2 new outfits all of a sudden. So, and one of them actually looked like something I used to wear. So I'm wondering if they'll do more with Claudie. I love her books, her second book especially. So anywho, happy birthday to my girl. Maybe I should get one of those AG cakes. Okay, going back through the comments because I didn't want to miss anything. Let's see. Christian Graves. The Moon Kingdom treated Chibiusa like she was Kovu. Oh my god, yeah. I was just thinking about the Lion King sequel not too long ago. Thank you, Tegan. Sailor Anime. I miss the Barbie websites. I miss them too. I should have put a link in the comments section. If you Google Coriander's dolls and you click on my face and go to, I think it's the fun section of the site, I actually did save some things from the Wayback Machine from the old Barbie pages that you can download today, and it actually works with today's Barbies. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Claudie's one of my favorites, Holden. She's easily in my top 10 with Addie. I need to make a top 10 list of that too. I could see why Black Lady wanted to watch everything burn. Yeah, especially in Crystal. Actually, more so in R, but she had more power in Crystal. I freaking love her. Okay, going back to Holden's questions here. There's a pink curvy Barbie in one of your shorts. Will she get a new outfit? She will. There are 2 mini bins. One's clear and one is pink. They are over by my old TV set that I have to replace. Long story. They are full of dolls that I am planning on sewing new outfits for. She's one of them. I found out her character's name is actually Daisy, and she's supposed to be in the Netflix Barbie Dreamhouse Adventure series. I haven't watched all of that. So I didn't know her name was Daisy. That's not the character she's going to be when I'm done with her. But yeah, she is on a long list of dolls behind here that are getting new outfits. I slowed down on that because I do suffer from arthritis, and they just upped my methotrexate. So now my fingers look better. They were kind of puffy, so it was hard for me to sew. But now that my fingers look better, I can eke out some time for sewing. Let's see. Will you make the butterfly skirt for your Beach Christie doll? She's in that bin over there with the material, and I finally got the butterflies that I want to put on her dress. So when I have some time, I think I might just use my glue gun for this just to make it easier, because the butterflies I got, I didn't realize had a metal backing. So I'm probably just going to have to use my glue gun for that. How many AG knockoffs do you have? American Girl dolls and knockoffs. Sorry, I had to reread my own writing. I think I might be at 47? Hold on. I made a book. I made certificates for each of my dolls. Little birth certificates. There used to be a spot on the American Girl website where you could do this, and I did find it again, and it semi-works, but it just lists the doll as truly me, historical. It didn't let me put in Addie, Kira, Claudie, none of those names. So I just said screw it, and I just made my own birth certificate, and then just took pictures of my dolls. I did a short video not too long ago where I flipped all of them past the screen pretty quickly. I want to say there's about maybe 42 of them. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to count. But yeah, I put all of them into this book. Got the binder and such from the Dollar Tree, and then I made my own sticker of my Winter Princess doll on top of an official American Girl horse. So I don't know, I'll have to see. I'm pretty sure it's over 40 though. I'm almost certain it's 47, but I don't know if that's the right number. And I is counting the minis too. And my Unita doll, and all of the others. And the horses. I count the horses too. That was the other thing I forgot. I showed it briefly in a short, but I didn't show you, like, in a regular video yet. So look who was waiting for me at the Goodwill not too long ago. I think I'm pretty certain by how the legs are, because this is a stationary, not moving horse. And the knockoffs usually have movable legs, and these ain't going nowhere. I think I found Felicity's horse. I think this is Penny. She's missing some hair that was ripped up here, but I'm pretty sure I got Penny. This is an old hair clip that I had from an old Doki Doki box. And I put that on there after I washed her hair. The saddles came with her from the Goodwill. I don't know who these belong to. And then this is like another old ponytail I got at the Dollar Tree. I just did this to like keep her hair out of the way. I think I got Penny. There's no tags. That might have been ripped off too, along with the tuft in her hair. But I'm pretty sure I'm holding Penny. I didn't do like a full video, but I'm pretty sure this is Penny. So now I have to bring out my Felicity doll. So with Penny's edition, I think I have about 47. American Girl and knockoffs included. So let's go back through the comments because I missed some up here. One thing I don't like about Crystal, says Sailor Anime 289, is CGI. I feel like it throws everything off. I feel like it's a continuation. If you watch the Sailor Moon R movie, when they initially go to face the Cassinian Blossom with Fiore, that's actually CGI. It looked better because they upped the contrast. I feel like a lot of CGI stuff just forgets to up the contrast. So I think that's why it looked a little different. So I just kind of viewed the CGI as like a continuation. It's also sort of a soft nod to the Toon Maker's version of Sailor Moon, which also had an insane amount of CGI for 1994. So I kind of feel like it fits in the same universe. Samantha's birthday somewhere in May. I forgot which day it was. I forgot too. I do have her books, but I forgot which day her birthday is. Custom AG binder looks cool. Thank you. Dollar Tree. Okay, so let's go back to some questions. Holden asked, favorite Sailor Moon and Sailor Chibi Moon dolls? Hard to say, because each of my dolls means something different to me. I was also thinking about doing another video, and I've done one before, but I want to do a new one, where I talk about how, unlike other Sailor Moon fans, I actually do have a soft spot in my heart for the frog face dolls. Obviously, the Japanese dolls are the most beautiful, and the Italian dolls are exquisite. The pretty face Irwin dolls are beautiful, but there is something about those Irwin those early North American Bandai and Irwin dolls. I do have a soft spot in my heart for them. So I've done a short video on that before. I might redo it. I haven't decided. I don't know how to say favorite dolls though, because like each one means something to me. Like the Char-Talk Super Sailor Chibi Moon doll obviously means a lot to me. But there's just so many dolls that I have that I love for different reasons. So I'm not sure how to answer that one. And then, are you getting the modern AG dolls? Because the modern AG dolls are really just Willy Wishers, probably not. I think Addie has the cutest hair. Her box is problematic because some people just don't read the book she came with. But I'm not really planning on getting those anytime soon. I'm also not planning on the AG sisters. I love the fact that the AG sisters come with so many accessories. I feel like that makes them more buyable. But because they're all Willy Wishers, and again, I don't want to frighten my husband, probably not going to be picking those up unless they show up at like Thrifted or something. Let's see. Kristen Graves. Fiore was on that Alex Forrester tip, just like Queen Beryl. Oh my god, Fiore is on a list of characters that needs to learn boundaries. Like, Mamoru just likes you as a friend, dude. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but this crush ain't gonna work. Classic Dreamer, have you gotten Tomodachi Life? My brother just got that game, and I'm trying to act like I'm not jealous. I love Tomodachi Life on 3DS. I played that way too much. The new Tomodachi Life game on Switch 2, far more customizable, far superior. They just built on everything I already loved. I will eventually get that game. Not right now, but eventually. Soft spot in your heart is called nostalgia, and it's a great feeling. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Tegan Rose sent in some questions. What is your favorite Sailor Moon Proplica? Hard to say. I only have one, and it is the Moonstick, which I need to put new batteries in. I love that one because there's a thing on there where if you turn it the correct way with the crystal in it, you actually get Queen Serenity's voice instead of Sailor Moon's. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I've used that in quite a few of my cosplay pictures. I would love to get more of the Proplicas. Just, I also like paying my bills and eating. So that's why I haven't bought any others. I would love to have the full collection though. There's a lot of stuff that is on my wish list. Just I wish you were a different price. And then Tegan also asks, when is your next doll update? When is my next doll update? How about now? Surprise! So I've been teasing this for a couple years. I am planning on taking some Rainbow High dolls and doing a Sailor Moon redo with them, with new outfits and everything. Like I said earlier, I had to take a break with my arthritis, but things are getting much better. So I saw this for sale at my local Walmart store, and she was like the last one, and you can probably tell why I got her. Yes, it's the Chibi Chibi hair. This is Apple Anderson. That's not who she'll be when I'm done. She is going to be a Chibi Chibi redo, but I do like Rainbow High. I wish the price would come down on these and then I would collect more of them, because there's a lot that I want to turn into Sailor Moon dolls, and some that are just plain pretty. There was one that I saw at my local Game Changer store. She's $60 right now, so way past my budget. Um, I don't remember her name, but she's African American, and she's got these gorgeous seafoam green aqua eyes and hair, and this pajama set, and little white bunny slippers like something Kurosagi would wear. I think she's gorgeous. She is nowhere near my price range. So I would like to collect more Rainbow High. I haven't really gotten into the TV show. But anywho, since we have her out, might as well unbox her, right? I got her a while ago, and I wasn't sure about when to do a video with her, but today's a good day, right? So the Rainbow High Littles don't have as much articulation as the other Rainbow High dolls, so some people like complain about that. But they're meant for younger kids, so I think that's why. Do you think they put enough packing tape on this? I think they did. They're also trying to move this to a gimmick where like a lot of the girls can have slime put into them. I don't like slime, so I'm not doing that. Okay, what just flew out? Oh yeah. So this comes with instructions. Oh, she comes with wings. You can either put her on her pet or you can put them on her. Okay, I'm keeping the wings for my customization project. That's cool. I never seem to have enough doll wings. So this is her crystal pet. It's like a little unicorn deer. That's cute. I do like these little crystal pets. I love anything that looks like a crystal. I have a couple of others somewhere. I do like them. She comes with standard little shoes. These are flats. I think they might fit a Stacy doll. So that's really cool. Let's see. My husband was kind enough to leave a blade for me. I love him. He's so kind. He uses this to cut through some of the plastic because they like really went overboard on some of the plastic ties. I just gotta be careful not to cut the wings. Ooh, or me. There we go. So these are rubbery, clear, red wings. Galaxia vibes, am I right? Okay. I think I can get the doll mostly out before I have to cut in. Yep, I'm going to need a cutter. Work smart, not hard. Okay. And there's a little more. I wonder if I can get this part, though. There. Man, I hate that they destroy the cardboard with so much plastic, because there is a nice little scene back here with crystals. So it's like she's come to us from Elysian. Ugh. Well, I don't know what I can do about that. Another thing I like about the littles is that they don't put a lot of glue or hair gel in their hair. Like, there's some in the front bangs, but not an abundance like the other dolls. So here's the doll herself. They gave her a plastic top for some reason. It looks like pseudo-wudo. They gave her a plain little skirt, which I don't care about because I'm going to be sewing her a new dress. She's got a really gentle face and clear pink legs that are so cool. Oh my gosh. Ah! Dropped her shoe. Let's go ahead and put her shoes on. There. Okay. And then there's a hole in her back for her wings. So I'm just going to put those in. And the wings almost disappear with her equally red hair. But yeah, this is what she looks like. And I think I'm going to do something very cute when I turn her into Chibi Chibi. So yeah, very happy with that. I do love these dolls. Looks like I got a few more comments here. Sailor Anime says, I have the replica brooches from R&S, trying to get season 1, but I'm too broke. Yeah, Bondi needs to stop being greedy. Okay, it's all plastic. Y'all don't need to charge $142 a brooch. Kristen says, I like the transformation pens from season 1. I have most of the pens by missing Sailor Mars's pen. I've got a little Gashapon Sailor Mars pen somewhere, and a Mercury pen too. Both of them had real nail polish in them. I bought them third hand, so by the time I got them, the nail polish had petrified and dried and turned to dust, so I'm never opening them, because that's straight toxic. But I thought that was interesting. You know, it's like real nail polish in their pens. And supposedly there was another set like that in the 90s, too, so that's kind of clever. Holden, the other day I was at a thrift store. I legit saw used Willie Wisher's Ashland in a bag. She startled and surprised me, but she was at a ridiculous price. Some thrift stores are getting greedy. My local thrift store raised the price on everything. And then they tried to blame tariffs for that. And I'm like, dude, you're getting your stuff from us. What do the tariffs have to do with stuff from the 80s? Make it make sense. But yeah, they're also getting more filthy at my local thrift store, so I'm cutting back on how often I go in there until they fix the mold problem. Because I'm not spending $5 on a doll that has blooming mold, like flowers blooming mold. It was so gross. Classic Dreamer, looking back at the Sailor Stars anime, I've come to realize that Chibi Chibi was pretty useless compared to the manga and Cosmos. She brought Usagi back to life? Episode 200. She randomly became a sword. You know, like how Utena randomly becomes Car, because sometimes you just Car. She was also comedy relief and insanely cute. I do feel like she's on a list of characters, though, that got kneecapped by Toei. I feel like we didn't try with her at all. And that makes me really upset, because even the anime version is a great character. I hate how they wrote her off as Galaxia Starseed. I much prefer her being Cosmos / Isagi in another timeline. But yeah, Toei for some reason really kneecapped a lot of the girl characters. They didn't let the Amazonas Quartet transform until Eternal. They cut back on Chibiusa's power. They really kneecapped Jupiter in some episodes. I don't know. I don't know what their damage was, but Chibi Chibi deserves better. Justice for Chibi Chibi. Reach the unboxing part of the video. LOL. Let's see. Yeah, they did make her the light of hope. That's right, Sailor Anime, but that and 750 gets you a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right? Sailor Anime asks, did you ever watch Winx Club? So I have a friend who is huge on Winx Club. I'm not. And again, I blame 4Kids. I saw some episodes of Winx Club. A lot of them were, I realize now, out of order and censored. Again, it was one of those weird shows where what they censored didn't make sense to what they did not censor. The first season had some transformations where, you know how Usagi will transform and her body turns to straight glitter and bubbles and you just get like an outline of everything, but it's bubbles, basically. I wish they did that with Winx Club because the first version Fox Kids had, there was a lot of flesh on my screen, and I don't need to see that early in the morning. I didn't need to see that when I was a teenager and just roughly close to bloom in age, and I especially don't need to see that now. Um, there's also a lot of heavy drama in what I saw, so it was really hard for me to get into it, especially where like the adults and the bad guys both act younger than the main character, who is again a teenager. Um, there's been some areas where I thought about going back to it, but I feel like the girls are drawn really skinny and they wear clothes that's kind of skimpy. And I don't know, just total weird vibes with that. Um, also, there was a lot of racial stuff with Winx Club, like how make they do more and more whitewashing with each subsequent season. And then there's an episode that I did see where the token black girl, her hair turns into a natural afro, and everybody kind of just makes her feel ugly about having natural hair. And that pissed me off a lot. And then I saw the Italian version and they managed to make it more racist. And that really super pissed me off. And I really didn't look back after that. I saw how people got angry at Netflix for their versions of Winx Club, and I feel like that was appropriate anger because if you didn't tell me that had anything to do with Winx Club, I wouldn't have thought Winx Club at all because it didn't look like it. So yeah, it's not a series I'm looking forward to returning to at any point. I might in the future, but as of right now, I'm good. Let's see. Kristen Graves, gashapons are so cute. I love gashapons. I am addicted. Anytime I see one pop up in my town, I get excited no matter what's inside. See, their anime. I also feel we got cheated on Stars considering it's the shortest season ever. We got mega cheated. Like, they didn't bother with the source material at all. They made Taiki a bully for some reason, a really short-sighted bully at that. We only got half of the anima mates. They nerfed Sailor Aluminum Siren and just turned her into. They turned Aluminum Siren and Lead Crow into Pinky and the Brain. I don't think I'm ever gonna forgive them for that. They really kneecapped Chibi Chibi. I can't get over how they bungled that one. We never saw anybody go to the end of the universe, so they tease us. Like, we see where the cauldron is at Sagittarius Zero Star. We just forget it, never go there. It's just decoration. And then the other thing that really bothers me, and it bothers me more as an adult, but it also bothered me when I was a kid, was with both the first part of Stars with Nehelania and then again with Galaxia, they overtly push Isagi into trying to befriend the worst people in the universe. I think we're past that point. Once we've got genocidal maniacs, we're kind of past the point of friendship. I feel like Eternal and Cosmos exist as apology letters for that whole thing. I especially didn't like how in the final episode Usagi's just not fighting. What was the point of never running from a real fight? What was the point of the whole series up to this point if you're gonna just stand there and not do anything for that last episode? That's the main point where we need you to fight, girl. Again, Eternal and Cosmos make up for this big time. We all got hosed with Sailor Stars. There's some episodes I love with Sailor Stars, and there is some good humor in Stars, so it's not like I hate it, but there are areas where I'm like, you could make an effort. They nerfed the Animate's attacks? Oh, big time. Sailor Moon poster in the back is beautiful. Thank you. This is actually a blanket. I just hung it up because I just really like it. Saturn, the short end of the stick. Oh my god, did they try with Saturn and Pluto? Like, they're barely in Sailor Stars. I can count on my left hand how many useful things Saturn and Pluto get to do collectively in Stars, and I'm gonna have fingers left over. Like, I don't even know where to start on that one. Like, they're just barely here. There is an uncut English dub version you can watch. I suggest you only watch the first 3 seasons because that's what they wanted to end on. The uncut dub, the official uncut dub for Stars is through Viz. Cloverway did make an effort. They wanted to do Sailor Stars. The Irwin Toys website even had a spot where you could see bios for Princess Kakyu, who would have been renamed Princess Fireball, and Chibi Chibi. I was so mind blown by that. And I actually have a trading card of Chibiusa and Diana, but it's a screenshot from the first episode of Sailor Stars, episode 168. It's right before she tries to go home. And I was so mind blown that Deke made this trading card when by this point they weren't doing S or Supers outside of the movies. And Cloverway tried really hard to get Stars, but just none of these chips were going to go anywhere. Stars is one of those uneditable seasons. I saw South Korea, Spain, and Germany try to do edited versions of Sailor Stars to varying degrees of what's wrong with you. Like, South Korea repainted the Sailor Stars completely and gave them, like, bodysuits. But it kind of makes things worse. I mean, I get it. Those are dominatrix outfits. I don't want to see 16-year-olds wearing that. That's gross to me. But then South Korea gave them these bodycon outfits, which kind of made it worse. And then in some countries, they split the Starlights in half so that there's 3 sets of twins, and like the boys scene and the girls fight. It's totally bizarre. But yeah, this is one of those seasons you have to see uncensored. You can't censor this. You can't make everybody cousins. So the official dub that exists is from Viz. I think they did a good enough job, honestly. I feel like a lot of people give them crap because they expect everything to be as it was in the 90s, not realizing we didn't need all those edits. I mean, Dragon Ball Z fans laugh at us about it. I don't think they did that bad of a job. Also, Johnny and Bosch is Artemis, and he's so cool, so you can't piss me off after that. But yeah, that's one of those. I'm kind of glad Deke and Cloverway didn't touch this. I think Cloverway wouldn't have done as bad as Deke. Neither of you have the rights to touch this, though. Just, well, nah, it's fine. It's fine. I can live with it. Have you seen Tokyo Mew Mew? Tegan, we were just talking about Tokyo Mew Mew before you came on. I've seen the original in spots. I should rewatch it. I only saw the first episode of the new version. It's on a to-do list. I'll eventually come around to it. Kristen Graves. Yep. Aisha. Also, her name is the same as the Power Ranger character. That's interesting in Winx Club. I didn't know that. I didn't listen to their names, just the visuals bothered me so bad. Holden says, even though I wanted to buy Ashlyn, the high price didn't make sense to me. Don't feel bad. Here's another thing about Welly Wishers. When you buy them second hand, it's a crapshoot when it comes to quality. Welly Wishers are notoriously cheaply made. I don't know why they're so expensive, because they are very cheaply made, to the point where if you have a damaged doll and you send them into the American Girl Hospital, they will not repair the doll. They will just send you a replacement doll. They won't even try. I don't know why, because like the biggest problem is that their legs pop out. They're cheaply made. You can snap them back in. If you know how to fix a Dollar Tree doll, it's the same thing with a Welly Wisher. I don't know why they don't just pop the leg back in. Because I did have to repair one of my Ashland dolls, and it took me about 3 seconds, and she's fine now. But there is a quality issue, and I have noticed there's an issue with mold because the doll is mostly hollow. So don't feel bad. It's kind of hit and miss with the quality of Welly Wishers. And if somebody's overcharging you for a Welly Wisher, walk away. I only spent $19 on one, and I think it was like with shipping $13 on the other. I really don't know why they would be more expensive than that. And if you're going to a thrift store, I'm sorry, y'all ain't that bougie. You shouldn't be charging more than $5 for anything. Let's see. When I went back to the day, next day she was gone. What type of clothes does she fit? Welly Wisher dolls are the same exact size as Glitter Girl dolls. So if you see Glitter Girl fashions at your local major grocery store or on Amazon, they will fit a Welly Wisher. Sometimes slightly better quality and a little more fashionable too, more color options. So Glitter Girl fashions will always fit Welly Wishers. One of my Ashland dolls is wearing a Glitter Girls outfit, and it fits her just fine. So Glitter Girls, they're not expensive. Those clothes will fit just fine on a Welly Wisher. Classic Dreamers. Sailor Stars is my least favorite season. It's so interesting. Back in the 90s, when I used to go on to Sailor Moon fan sites, Sailor Stars and Sailor Moon S were the two more popular seasons. As we have all gotten into the 2020s and we're all more familiar with the manga, that's reversed. We're like, S is still pretty popular with most folks, but Sailor Stars is not. Sailor Moon Anime 289. People keep saying that Wedding Peach copied Sailor Moon. I love Wedding Peach. Have you seen Wedding Peach? I have one Wedding Peach DVD. I've seen it in bits and pieces. There's an episode where they actually put Rei and Ami into a scene. You can actually see Rei and Ami at somebody's wedding in one of the episodes. I think it might be episode 7. 6 or 7. I have to take a look and see. I'm pretty sure it's 7. Some of the episodes are loosely copied from some early episodes of Sailor Moon. Half of the staff for Wedding Peach worked on the first 2 seasons of Sailor Moon, and some of the weapons were inspired by stuff that was left on the cutting room floor for Sailor Moon. I do kind of see it in a way with some of the writing. The DVD that I have, I think it's episode 8 through 13 or 14. I noticed that they did kind of lightly copy episodes. There's one episode that is based on the 4th episode where Sailor Moon is worried about her weight. They take that same element and they manage to make it a hell of a lot more sexist and add more body shaming. It's kind of like the one issue of Codename Sailor V where she ate the candy that made everybody big. It's really misogynistic. It's full of body shaming. It's a hard episode for me to watch. I already wasn't a big fan of the body shaming in Sailor Moon. This managed to put it on steroids. I still have more of Wedding Peach to actually see, so I couldn't tell you the names of the characters or what happens to them. What I have seen, though, it's like you're not a 1-to-1 ratio copy of Sailor Moon, but I see writing-wise what you are copying. And you're not really making it your own. So I do kind of see where some people say that. Kristen Graves, my theory was Sailor Moon didn't want to give the villain the satisfaction of giving in to her rage. You know, I've heard stuff like that said. People say that towards those of us who deal with a stalker or a bully or an abuser, and they're like, oh, don't let them win, don't let them live rent free in your head, and don't let them see the satisfaction of your rage. I call bullshit every time I hear that. And Sailor Galaxia is murderous. Like in the 90s anime, they cop out. They make it out like where she absorbed chaos into herself, thinking she could seal chaos into her guts, and instead chaos just possessed her because that was the world's stupidest idea. And they try to make it out like she's not that bad, but she isn't smart. Cosmos and the manga make it clear Galaxia was murderous at the door and was already a bad person, and her powers just kind of made everything worse. So with that being said, when you have a genocidal maniac, I feel like she should be moon dusted. So yeah, that's why I view episode 200 as a huge cop out. Classic Dreamer, have you watched Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi? I actually did used to watch Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I almost bought the video game, but the copy that my local store had was damaged. It's unique. I actually like the band that the cartoon or cartonime is based on, Puffy Amiyumi. They actually still perform. They just did some McDonald's commercials for Christmas. The cartoon is a little bit odd. You can tell when American writers try to do their own version of Japanese stuff. So there's some episodes where I don't think they meant to be racist, but they come across that way. It's also interesting too because like they got the Teen Titans voice actresses to do this cartoon. It's interesting. It also kind of reminded me of this other girl group called Pink Lady. There's a channel on YouTube called Have You Heard? It's all about doll stuff. And they had a video about Pink Lady and the TV show that they had, the dolls that came out for them in the US, and then what led to their breakup. And when I first saw Puffy Amiyumi, I actually thought about Pink Lady. I wasn't old enough to watch Pink Lady because they were done with way before I was born, but my mom was a Pink Lady fan. So it kind of reminded me of like if Pink Lady had punk daughters, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was an interesting point in the 2000s. Wedding Peach walked so K-pop demon hunters could run. I'm not really a big fan of that movie. I don't really like the animation very much. They also found out that some of that movie was actually stolen from an old Hong Kong film, and the lady who created it was open about this, so I'm not a big fan of plagiarism. I just want to skip out on that one. How many Sailor Moon art books do you own? I have 6? 6 of the anime-based art books, and 2 that are Naoko Takeuchi. So that's about 8. I have about 8 art books. I also have 4 magazine-style art books. And then all 3 of the books that came out if you went to the theater for Sailor Moon RS and Super's the movie. So that's how many art books I have at the moment for Sailor Moon. I also have one Vocaloid art book that was pretty cool too. I need to find that again. I think it's in the living room. Kristen Graves, Sailor V was literally fighting Hollywood. Yeah, looking back at how many of the Dark Agency were tied up with pop culture, especially in the music scene, I feel like Codename Sailor V was kind of telling us about the idol industry a little bit before any of us knew what was going on over there. God, what a forward-thinking manga. Sailor Anime 289. If there's one 90s magical girl that needs to be viewed today, it's character Yui. I remember when Corrector Yui came out, a lot of the anime magazines were exceptionally harsh on it. Um, a lot of people compared it to Cardcaptor Sakura and Sailor Moon. I've only seen the opening credits. I haven't seen a full episode yet. I did see one clip where her, I guess, robot familiar was kind of being harsh with her. Um, I've not really seen a full episode. I need to get caught up on that one. That's one that I'm curious if anybody's going to be streaming that anytime soon. If it's not streaming already. Corrector Yui takes place in the future where everybody is obsessed with the internet, but she's stupid when it comes to computers, which is why she never gets possessed by them, unlike everyone else. Wow, that sounds like it would absolutely fit with today. I really need to give this show a chance. K-pop Demon Hunters? Yeah, the creator of that movie, she said she got it from some Hong Kong film. She took the ideas from an old Hong Kong film from many years ago and ran with it. Plus, Redbubble pissed me off the other day. They asked me if one of my Keychun Demon Hunter shirts was related to this, and I was like, this t-shirt came out in 2021. My book series has been on Amazon since 2016. This movie didn't even go to production until a few years ago. No. Why would I, in 2021, make a t-shirt of a 2025 film? Stop using AI, Redbubble. But it's fine because I have a better version of the shirt on Printify anyway, so. But yeah, there's some stuff with the production of that I didn't sit comfy with, so I really don't want to support that, and I'm not going to be watching the sequel either. Also, the animation reminded me a lot of that Turning Red film that Pixar did a few years ago. That film kind of bothers me because the main character in that one looks a lot like my stalker, so I'm not really watching either film. Just, nah. I'm not going to hate on it, because I feel like everybody should feel represented, just this is not specifically for me. I should do an art book video. I should. I did one a few years ago when my husband surprised me with a materials collection art book, because that was a holy grail item for me. I should do an art book video. Sailor Anime says, I found my childhood art books, and for the protection of the universe, I will seal them away from the world. Do take good care of them. You know, you gotta protect your books. Holden says, I forgot about Corrector Yui. I used to read the manga and a few anime episodes, didn't realize the main character is voiced by the same actor who voices Kirby. No, and Kirby right back at you? What? Okay, I need to give this show a chance. Yeah, you folks are right. I need to give Corrector Yui a chance. I need to find some episodes and give it a chance. Okay, so let's see. I still have some questions left that we didn't cover. Okay, so I still have an X account. I pop in once in a blue moon just to keep the account open and to advertise my stuff, and then I pop immediately back out because it is a cesspool, much like Reddit. I have a Reddit account. I'm, at the request of my therapist, reducing my time on Reddit. But I did actually get some questions on X from probably my last active follower, Carol. Carol asked me quite a few questions. So let's see. What drew you to Magic Attic Club Rose? This is the second time I get to talk Magic Attic Club today. That's kind of new. Oh my god, I'm so glad I reposted that article. And I actually brought Rose in for this one. And I have many of her books. So let me... Since it's been a long time since I've had Rose out, I do have her teddy bear, of course. I love my Rose doll. And this outfit is so cute. So there's a lot of things that I love about Rose. For one, I love the fact that she is a computer nerd in her books. And I was a huge computer nerd, which you folks probably saw my live videos about that not too long ago. Um, but I was a huge computer nerd, and I loved the fact that she's a computer nerd too. I also love that she loves my favorite shades of green. So we've got like seafoam green, we've got this nice spring green. I love cooler shades of green. I never liked like yellowy shades. I love cooler shades of green. And she wears a lot of my favorites. Um, I love too that she's so connected with her family. Um, she is indigenous nondescript in the books, which in my article I went over how the folks at Magic Attic Club could have done a lot more race wise. So she's Native American, but we don't actually know a lot about her family. I always got Cherokee vibes. I think because I've got some Cherokee, some Chippewa, and some Iroquois up the line in my family. Um, so there's that. I love her face. Her face is so gentle. First edition Magic Attic Club dolls are kind of creepy. Newer versions, though, they soften the face and they become a lot cuter. But she and Keisha, I think, had the cutest faces. Like her face is so gentle and pretty and serene. I love too that she went to something of a homeschool slash private school split and only did the whole public school thing because that's what her parents thought was the popular thing to do. Whereas I went backwards. I started in public school, did not get anything into with that, went into homeschooling and thrived in science afterwards. So I love that we've got that connection. So those are some of the reasons why Rose was like a holy grail doll for me. Um so yeah. Oh, another thing I love too, I got Rose Faces the Music. This is a book that I really liked and I need to reread it. Not just because she's wearing this gorgeous gown, but because her story here is all about going to play music for the president. And of course, the president is nondescript, so can work in whatever time period you want. And that's great too, because this came out like right after the 96 election. So when it was being written, we didn't know if it was going to stay Bill Clinton or turn into Bob Dole. It stayed Clinton. Um, oh, hey, I didn't catch this before, but I kind of have Keisha's hair. Now I need to find a Keisha doll that matches. But I loved that she was also studying the presidents because when I was a kid, I loved studying the presidents. I loved studying politics. I actually wanted to get into politics when I was a kid, but I've just never really gotten serious about that as an adult. There's a lot of people who backstab in your own party, and I didn't really like that. So that's something that I've tinkered with, but I've never actually like jumped on it. But those are some of the reasons why I love Rose and why I chose Rose as my doll. And it's great that I get to talk about Magic Attic Club at all, because like for a long time, this was one of those things where if you didn't experience it, nobody knew what you were talking about. So that's great. Yeah, she does look adorable in green. I love that original outfit on her. Carol also asked, who are your favorite Sanrio characters? Because everybody's doing the Sanrio character voting right now. I think my local Hot Topic might be doing it too. Um, I've always been a Hello Kitty girl. I also love my Melody. I became a Kuromi fan in my teenage years. I think everybody likes Cinnamoroll. My son seems to like Cinnamoroll and Pochacol. Um, oh, now I remember. Lately I've been getting into Little Twin Stars a lot. I really like their colors, the pink and blue. I see a lot of their videos now. I just recently watched the OVA on YouTube, and while I don't like, how sad they get because their parents kind of kick them out, I really do like a lot of their videos. It's just very soothing. Tegan asks, did you get more of the Cybercell trading cards? No, not yet. On my wish list. My local Hot Topic, they're kind of changing staff right now, and they're kind of sucky. So I might have to just go out to the one at South Lake Mall because they have better staff and just everything. I haven't collected a lot of the cards yet. I do need to catch up on that. I also want to get more of the uh, little keychains, the figural keychains. I want many more of those, especially the Dreamark ones. I only have the Chibi Moon and Pegasus Chase one, but I want to get the rest of them because I love them. They are so cute. Let's see, another thing that Carol asked, favorite Barbie sibling? So that's a tie between Skipper and Stacy. Those were the two that I played with the most growing up. Those are the two that I collect the most. And Skipper always seems like the cool older sister type to me. And I love how athletic Stacy is. I love how a lot of Stacy's playsets mirror all the Olympic stuff that Barbie was getting into when I was a kid. So that's why I collected those two the most. Chelsea is starting to grow on me because of Life in the Dream House. I think there's only a few episodes left that I need to watch before I've seen the whole thing. She is starting to grow on me. She's like her own little level of chaotic, and I kind of like that. So I have a handful of Chelsea dolls now. Um, I have I'm still learning about Tootie and Todd. I do have my own Tootie and Todd dolls. Todd, I think the 90s version of Todd, highly underrated. I wanted more Todd dolls. He is adorable. And I liked the first Kelly that came with the Midge Wedding Day set too. So adorable. I wish we had more time with them. Let's see. Sailor Automate asks, what did you miss? I was just talking about how I love that Rose is into computers, how she's had a bout with homeschooling, and how she has a story that's all about her, meeting the president, and how that reflected off of me quite well. And then I also mentioned that my favorite Barbie siblings were Skipper and Stacy. Skipper, Holden says Skipper might be the first of Barbie's siblings who embrace the anime aesthetic. Yes. Yes, that is my favorite face mold of hers too, where she's got like those big anime eyes. Her face was so cute that they also used that doll mold for some of the Disney dolls too. There's an Alice in Wonderland, Tinkerbell, and Wendy that was released that also had the same face mold. They were supposed to do more Peter Pan characters, and I even saw a prototype for some Fantasia characters, which was way out of left field. I thought they were going to go with Barbie for that one. I've seen prototypes of those dolls though, and I wish they'd gone to production. Maybe not the Fantasia ones, but the other ones. I wish they'd gone to into production. Just she's so cute, and the '90s Todd and that first Kelly doll had face molds that played off of her anime aesthetic, and that's why I think they're adorable. And then the other anime character, of course, would be Generation Girl Tori, which I do finally have. So I love that they embraced those. Let's see. And then last question Carol had for me was, are you planning on buying any other AG characters? On my wish list, I do have some other characters. Eventually I might get a Kaya. I think that's how you say her name. I think her story is really interesting. I haven't finished all of her books, but I think her story is interesting. Aside from Melody and Courtney, who else did I have? I might eventually get like a thrifted Samantha. I feel like there's a healthy number of Samanthas out in the wild. I could probably buy one thrifted. So I do want to get a Samantha. I would love to get her great great granddaughter too. Just that price point needs to come back. I was kind of maybe thinking of Kirsten down the line. I love the unhinged videos they put Kirsten in on the official AG Instagram. That made me revisit the character. Her books are something else. Um, who else? I might get a Molly. She's a little bit unhinged. I'm thinking about that would be another one I would thrift though. I wouldn't try to get her new because the new ones don't last on the store at all. So it's just easier if I try thrifting. Um, there's a few other characters I might. Nanea, that's the other one. I might. I would like it if they did a story where Nanea actually met Molly. Kirsten. Yep, Sailor Anime is right. Minky Momo is cursed. I know Minky Momo is on Crunchyroll now. I refuse to watch that. There's a video somewhere on YouTube that goes over this. So the guy who created Minky Momo got screwed by the anime company really badly. Like they just did not give him any royalty payments at all. So to get back at them, he kills Minky in an episode. And the day the episode aired, there was a horrible train wreck. When they re-aired the episode, there was an earthquake. Every time they air this episode, something horrible happens in real life. I will never watch this show. I will not watch the reboot. I will not watch the OVAs she did with Creamy Mommy. I'm not watching any of the episodes where she was reborn. I'm not watching any of it. Just no, just full blown no. I did no bad juju. 2026 has already sucked enough, not making it worse. Holden says the first Wendy doll with the anime skipper face later had the 94 skipper face sculpt, which kind of makes sense because she didn't want to grow up at first and then at the end finally decided to. Yeah, I think if you hang around Peter Pan long enough, you kind of don't want to go back to Neverland. I don't blame her. It was an earthquake that happened twice. Yeah, just I'm never watching Minky Momo. No, that's just not happening. Never. No bad juju. The Jumanji board gets put away. Yeah, I think I have officially covered all of the questions that were on my Hello Kitty list from my notebook. Let's see, did I get any more questions that I missed? Let me see. Holden says the 99 Disney Alice in Wonderland Mattel doll is the last to use the late 80s skipper face. I wish they never retired that face mold. It was so cute. They say Minky Momo is fine to watch as long as it doesn't air on TV. I'm not playing that game. No. No, I've had a shitty year. I'm not doing that. Have you seen Magical Girl Fancy Lala? I saw the first episode where she got her powers. I've seen a little bit here and there. The early Magical Girl shows don't connect with me. I like the way they're designed. I like the colors. And then everybody opens their mouth. A lot of them, they just don't quite do it for me. I think I got spoiled really with Sailor Moon, where, I'm used to the magical girls like fighting monsters and aliens and stuff. A lot of the early magical girl shows, it's like, oh, we have magic powers. What are we going to do with those? Oh, I'm getting a cat out of a tree. Good for you. And a lot of the boys in those shows are uniquely misogynistic. And there's a line between this is a mentality of their time and no, you're just assholes. And they take a flying leap over that line. So there's a lot of them that I just can't get past one episode. Cursed Magical Girl show sounds like a Sailor Moon plot, right? There is actual fan art out there, and it's existed since the 90s of Chibiusa as Minky Momo. I think it's about equally cursed. The irony is Fancy Lala is a rare magical girl show that they drew in a stolen style. Yep. The original magical girl show is Sally the Witch. I've seen some of Sally the Witch, but not a lot of it. I've seen a lot of older magical girl shows from the 60s and 70s and 80s. I never really got into it very much. One from that era that I did watch was Princess Knight. I did follow most of it through the end. There's only some batches of episodes I missed. And I did read some of the sequel manga that I'm shocked never got animated, where she has twins. Um, it's okay, but knowing what we know today, a tough watch because there's a lot of stuff involving gender and it's highly problematic. Like, the character herself is noble and sweet and good, just the people around her suck. So it's kind of a tough watch. First, Fighter Magical Girl is Cutie Honey. I've watched some of the original, and I watched some of Cutie Honey Flash, which steals heavily from Sailor Moon. I've watched some of the more recent Cutie Honey that was on, I think it was High Dive. I think Go Nagai's mother should be smacked for not treating her son well. She notoriously was not good to him. And I feel like all of those issues with his mommy appear in this show and in the female version of Devilman. This is what happens when you don't hug your kids properly. Treat your children right so this doesn't happen. There's also a lot of squick with Cutie Honey and what version of Cutie Honey you have, because all of them have that whole I should be calling Chris Hansen vibe about them, that very overlying Epstein thing happening. A lot of R. Kelly. So yeah, I can only watch Cutie Honey in small doses. Almost bought a Cutie Honey doll once, but the seller pulled back because she got COVID, and she refunded me, which I thought was sweet, and I hope she's doing well. The Cutie Honey dolls that came out in the late 90s were just Sailor Moon dolls with different hairstyles. I was actually going to buy one that already had messed up hair and just turn her into a Sailor Moon doll. But like I said, the seller got sick, so at least I got my money back. And I bought a real Sailor Moon doll with the money, so all's well that ends well on that one. Kristen loves Princess Knight. Oh, yeah, yeah. Technically, Cutie Honey's a cyborg in some versions. Now, in Cutie Honey Flash, I think she's more android than anything else, a little bit of cyborg, because she is able to have a daughter at the end of the series. The other versions, though, I think she was more robotic in certain areas. But yeah, lots of squick, lots of uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. But anywho, I think I am going to jump off of here though, because I do have to pick up some groceries for dinner. And do a little short video with this cutie before she becomes Chibi Chibi. So yeah, I am so thrilled with how this came out. Except for that choking bit when my neighbor decided to come home with his flowers, which I can smell through the window right now. But yeah, I'm going to jump off of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you soon.